We're three millennial Latina first-time moms and entrepreneurs who connected at the start of our radio careers. From partying at nightclubs to figuring out night feeds, we've been friends for 14 years.
We're not experts, just honest moms navigating motherhood together, from pregnancy and the newborn stage to toddlerhood, one phase at a time.
We're excited to share what we've learned, what we wish we'd known, and everything in between.
Welcome to Nightclubs to Night Feeds.
Episode 14.5. Yay, we're all on the same page. And we are getting into Now We're Talking.
Now We're Talking.
Baby is talking, or is baby talking? Because,
8 to 12 months.
Yeah, 8 to 12 months is, I feel like we say this every episode, but so much is happening in the 8 to 12 months. But the exciting things like talking, for me, it was mama, papa, sometimes dada. Sometimes, and then a lot of babbling.
Yeah.
A lot. And like singing style babbling. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
go off with your octaves.
Saint was singing early too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like actually singing because his sister also is like a beautiful singer.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so we like sing, like Zaire and I sing to songs, but like she
Yeah.
is just like
What's your favorite song? Let's hear it.
just kidding. No, I can't. No, but what's like the most beautiful thing is, so Talia is my stepdaughter, so she would like records herself singing all the time. She recorded a song and was showing it to me while I was changing Saint's diaper. As she's playing me the song, Saint starts going,
Oh
my cute.
He's literally trying to like harmonize with her, so he still to this day like sings.
Does that?
He still
That is
sings.
so
the
cute.
cutest thing.
Yeah, and I feel like that's something that Santi was doing because we're always, for the most part, playing music.
Yeah.
And I have like kitty music for him, like Disney music, Miss Rachel music. And then I have a playlist of just like music that I have been listening to since I was pregnant with him.
Yeah.
So it's like a variation. So music is always playing.
Yeah,
Singing
same.
was happening. I know you had an early talker though.
Oh yes.
Yes. Yeah. So Poppy started, like she said, Mama, I think we were at 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, it was wild. And I know
That's early.
it was. And it still is like the way her language has developed from then until now is like, I know, very advanced. And I think like, you know, there's amazing parts to it. And then there's parts where you're like, oh, I don't want them to grow up so fast, you know? And I think that that's sort of the like bittersweet part is like, it does feel like she's growing up so fast because she is now at 3, like able to have full on conversations with like 5-year-old, 6-year-old, like myself, my husband. But yeah, at that age, like it started with mama, then it's, you know, eventually like by the time, before she even reached a year, she was already going from like mama and papa to like mommy, daddy.
At 1 year.
Yeah, before she was 1. Before she was
What?
1.
Before she was
Before
one.
she was 1. And she just did that on her own, like randomly. We have it on video too. Like one day she's like, mama, mama. And then she's like, mommy. It just like came out so clear. I'm like, wait, what?
But
when
were
did that
you
happen?
guys telling her mommy, or was she singing on Miss
Right.
Rachel, or like where is she
I
getting
think
that
it was
from?
Miss Rachel. Like I feel like we would say both. So like mama, mom. Like for a while she went through a mom phase. Like after 6 months, so like after mama, then it went from mama to like mom. She would say it just like that. Like 7 months, mom. She'd be crying and like say it like that. And then
cute.
it never went to dad though. It was still stayed like papa. And then I feel like it went from papa to daddy. And
that's
so, yeah, it was like she started saying, like I have said this before, she started saying bigger words, even though for the most part, most of her language was like smaller words and like 2-syllable. Then she started picking up on 2-syllable words that were longer, like, and randomly saying like birthday or Darla, like 2-syllable words. It still was like kind of staying in that family. And then right at like 11 months, she started like stringing the 2 words together. So like before she was 1, she was already with like sentences like bye Nana and like hi mommy. Like it was like 2-word sentences, you know?
That is, wow.
That's so early.
Which-
Yeah, because Saint
yeah.
now he's almost 2, and like recently, last month, he started saying,
Yeah.
bye bye, dada,
Yeah.
bye bye, bye bye. It's so cute.
Yeah, see, I'm not anywhere near that, so I still feel like I have a little baby.
Yeah,
You know? And I love
Yay.
that.
Little baby.
And
Yeah,
I love that because I don't want him to be a little boy,
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Even though physically he does look like a little boy. And like every day, I swear, like we get him out of his crib, I'm like, who's this little boy?
This grown man?
Like features,
especially since you got him the haircut.
The haircut.
Feel like that took it.
He's a little tiny man.
Level.
He's a little tiny man. His
with all that hair,
is like ready to go. Yeah.
Clocks into work, clocks out.
Yeah. So it is a mind mess because I'm like, wait, he looks so old, but he's still like my little baby. Yes. He's not even a year and a half yet, but he is still doing, like I was telling you, he started with the mama, but now he says mum. Like mom. Kind of in a British accent, and my husband thinks it's hilarious. I'm like, dude, I'm not mum. I am not. I want to be mama. So we're working on that, but yeah, definitely still a lot of singing.
Yeah,
he says like bah for ball.
Yeah,
like he's doing those like his own little variations of the words. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, because he's my little baby. That's
And sometimes I wonder, like talking about like feeling like she's growing up so fast is like part of it when I would see other babies that were like her age, you know, even now when I see other kids that are her age, I look at her and I'm like, why does it always feel like she's like so much older? And I know that that's why. Obviously, she is a tall girl too, but like I do feel like we kind of missed out on some of the like like her being a baby for so long.
Yeah.
Right. Because by the time she was 1 and she was already saying these sentences, I was already like, oh, you're a full toddler. Even though 1 still feels so baby, you know, for her, I was like, oh, you're not because you're talking, you're walking, and you're also climbing shit like a crazy little gremlin.
Yeah. Both of you guys have talked about climbing.
Climbers. Yeah. Santi is a climber. He because right now he is walking, but he still like doesn't feel fully comfortable, and neither do I. So I'm okay that like he doesn't feel 100% yet either. But climbing, he's like, I want to climb any and everything. Like the couches he wants to climb. He'll take the pillows down so he can climb.
Is he then jumping or is he just
He's not jumping yet, thank goodness. Thank goodness, I know that's going to happen. And then Henry was even like, I loved jumping on the bed when I was little. Like that was my ish. And I'm like, no, I'm scared.
And jumping on the bed even is like slightly safer because there's more room. The jumping on the couch one, I'm like, oh my God, girl, you take one little easy... Like yesterday, she just fell right off and like just like pops up and looks at me like, I know I wasn't supposed to be doing that. Yeah. So I'm just looking over here to make sure you didn't see it or hear it.
Also, our couch, well, mostly we're upstairs now because of him, and his room is upstairs. So like we turned a living room upstairs for him, and it's like his play area, living room, but that's the couch he plays on. So that couch is up against the rail. So I'm like, we already put we had these made like this plexiglass. It looks so tacky, but I'm like, I don't care. Like I need peace of mind.
Right.
And again, my husband's like, well, he's not going to be unsupervised playing here. And I'm like, that's true. But like instant, like if I walk to wash my hands, if you go to the laundry room, if like we're picking up the dog, like boom, like something can happen. And I'm paranoid. So like, we had to put these like plexiglass things
like
up
covers to help. I feel like with one of the things that I thought was like, you know, when you don't have a climber, you're not thinking about any of the things that are like smaller, like the couches and like the tables. Like I know she's about to get up on the table and start just, you know, going crazy. But one of the most shocking ones was you know those like you use them to organize crafts or like makeup or whatever, the ones at Michael's that are like the small drawers, they're just plastic, like it's like metal, but the thing isn't really like hardcore metal. Tell me why this was before she turned 1 too. She was probably 10 months. She climbed from the rocking chair, like climbed on the rocking chair, and I used to have that little thing right by the rocking chair, not thinking anything of it. Climbs onto the chest of drawer thing that's like plastic. It is probably, I don't know, a little over 3 feet tall.
What?
She was standing on the edge of it too. Like when I walked in there, literally just like her toes. Like she was like tippy-toeing on it. And I walked in, I didn't even know where she was. I'm like looking around on the ground. I'm like looking around.
She's freaking
where the heck is she? Literally, I'm like, where is she? And she's not making a peep because she knows what she's doing. She's not supposed to be doing. Yeah. And I look over there. I'm like, oh my God. I just like I immediately grab her off and I'm like, holy shit. Like, I don't even know how this happened. Like, she didn't seem tall enough to be able to like scale herself up to there.
She found
a way. And so ever since then, I was like, okay, like some kids, they're just born climbers. And I remember posting about it on social media and people were like, oh yeah, my daughter was a climber too. Or like, oh my God, I never thought this was possible. But it's like, you have kids who like in their mind, they're like, ooh, I want to figure out how to get to that. Yeah. And she recently started doing, like I used to do this when I was little, where you like put if your body fits in like a door frame or something.
Oh, yeah. My brother did that.
To climb up.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm like, here we fucking go.
Yeah, no, Saint isn't a climber like that. But hearing you guys makes me feel like now, so we're in a different age.
Hearing you guys, I'm glad.
Yeah, literally.
No, I'm thinking about things I have to like put like anchor. His dresser, I have to anchor that in because he's spending more time in his room alone. Yeah. Because you have cameras in there.
Yeah.
So, but I got to anchor.
Anchoring everything. There's just too many stories of incidents and accidents and literally anchor every and anything that you can. Which is why I got the plexiglass. I'm like, sure, maybe he's not going to, but you never know.
You never know.
And it's peace of mind.
Yeah.
Okay, can we just stop and just talk about how dope this recording studio is? I feel like everyone hits me about like where it's at, how cool it is, what's the situation. It's called Project Studios in Monterey Park.
Everything is here. And the staff does everything for you as well. The editing, the producing, the lighting.
The cameras.
Everything. We need that good lighting. Yeah. We got it
here. And you could create such dope content here. Like downstairs is a full production area that literally is like for music videos, big scale productions. And next door, they even have a place where like you can do flat lays if you sell clothing, jewelry, whatever you sell. It's like professional level studio next door that you can use.
And it's only 9 minutes from downtown LA. And there's parking here in LA. It's so annoying to find parking. And I know that was a big thing when we were looking for podcast space, was where in LA that we can all park and feel safe and feel comfortable. Yes. And that is here. Make sure to follow them on Instagram so you can see more of all the fun stuff they do at Project LA. And you can schedule a creative consultation at projectstudios.com.
Tell them we sent you.
What about continuing to breastfeed past one? Because
I was over here thinking, I'm going to make it to 12 months and then I'm going to, girl, no. I'm like at 2 years old. Like,
are you going to continue?
Amazing. That's so amazing.
I don't know. I would like to end, but he has to get his lip tie removed. And so the dentist was saying to wait until he's 2.5. And if I'm still breastfeeding at the time, that'll help him. And I'm like, do I want to keep going to 2.5 to like help?
You could also freezer
I have milk a ton of frozen milk.
That's amazing.
So that could work.
That could work too. So I don't know.
Do you have a deep freezer or just a regular one?
No, just a regular freezer. And also I do want to get it turned into powder. So I do. I know you and I talked about this. Yeah. I haven't done it yet. It's just taking a bunch of space. So I think I might just keep a couple frozen.
Yeah.
But as of now, it's like if we're doing it during the day at all, breastfeeding, it's just comfort for him.
It's like he comes and asks for it.
Oh, yeah. If I come into the living room, if I sit down, he'll come over and be like, Mama.
Even if not,
and he'll do the leche sign. Yep.
Got it.
He'll just want comfort.
Yeah.
But at night, definitely, I actually nurse him to sleep, and that's his preferred way, and that's his thing. But at night, he knows that's coming.
Yeah.
I'm still only doing now, as of recently, one feed, which is the night feed. But I make sure to not put him to sleep with the breastfeeding because
it'll get stuck.
Yeah. And I want him, because he does sleep in the crib, like the thing with having them sleep in the crib is for them to be able to soothe and put themselves to sleep. So they tell you to like, don't let them rely on something like breastfeeding. So he'll get really comfortable and really calm. But then I also make sure, like I have the rocking chair in his room, but it's like too comfy in there. The sound machine is on. So I still breastfeed him at night in my room. So he knows
this is not sleep.
This is not sleep. And then when I take him to his room, it's Mimi's time.
Yeah. Got it. So he goes from your room like being kind of awake and then you put him down in the crib.
Yeah. And like we make sure like he is awake. We say goodnight. We kiss him. We do like our whole routine there. And then it's bedtime.
Yeah. See, I kind of did something similar where like I didn't want her to rely on the boob to go to bed because I wanted to be able to not be home during bedtime. But I did let her fall asleep on the boob and then would put her down asleep. But she's still like at right before, 10.5 months, she like weaned herself off the boob, like completely. Just one day, like I pulled the boob out, went to put it in her mouth like I always do. And she was like, nah.
That's how Saint was with the pacifier.
Oh my God.
And bottle.
Oh my God. Poppy was both like that with the pacifier too.
Yeah, he
at
just
like
one day
6 or 7 months. She just stopped wanting it, and then she started playing with it. She would like bite it and like pull it out.
The pacifier we're talking about.
Yes.
I was like, wait, what?
Not my nipple. To clarify, not my nipple. Thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, she with the passy just like started playing with it, then like was done, and then the boob. It was like after she did that. That's when I told you guys, like, I got very emotional and I like started crying and I was like, what is happening? And at first I thought, like, was it something I ate? Too much garlic? Like, is it just taste different? Like, what is going on? Yeah. So then I tried again the next day because I just thought she's just going through a phase or whatever. Yeah. Tried again the next day. She didn't want it anymore.
Wow.
So I was like, okay. So then I was like, is it my breast milk? So I pumped to a bottle, which I would do a lot then because my husband would give her a lot of bottles. And I pumped to a bottle and I gave her the bottle and she was fine. So then I started putting her to bed with a bottle, like up until right at 1. I really wanted to get her off the bottle at 1. Mm-hmm. And so I was just worried about the teeth thing. And I knew as she got older, it was going to be harder to break her from the bottle. So then I would let her drink the bottle and fall asleep. And then I'd put her down. And then sometimes when she'd wake up in the night, I would like, up until she was 1, I would get up and give her the bottle and she would just like drink it herself and then chuck it and fall asleep, which was so nice. I miss those days. But then when I weaned her off the bottle, it wasn't that big of a deal either. Like it was still like, I was so worried about, like you're saying, like putting her to bed, like asleep after the boob or putting her down asleep after the bottle. And then no, she was fine. It was totally fine. And so then we were able to wean her off the bottle, I think in like a week. It took. Oh, wow. She still was trying to get it in the middle of the night, and I kept having to remind myself, like, she's not hungry. This is just a comfort thing. She's totally full, making sure she fully ate dinner before, you know. But it definitely was not as hard as I thought it was going to be. And I also thought the doctors were going to be harder on me about it. Like, I, in my head, thought we're going to go to her 1-year appointment, and the doctor's going to be like, is she off the bottle yet? Just want to make sure she's off the bottle because her teeth, you know, all that. They didn't even ask. No. And I was like, just so you know, we weaned her off the bottle. It's 12 months.
They're like, okay.
We did it. And they're like, okay, yeah, cool. Who cares?
No, I know. I was expecting that at the 1-year checkup too, but they really don't ask because it's a dentist thing. Yes. So at the 1 year, they asked, are you going to the dentist? Because they know that the dentist will be asking those questions.
Yes. Yeah. So it was, and I obviously like, I just knew as they become toddlers, they're so much more stubborn about everything and like able to give feedback and able to freaking throw things and like act crazy. And I was like, I'm too scared to like try to do all these weaning things at that age, you know?
I think have been starting to experience tantrums, and I don't even like saying that word because it's like ties him to an older kid. Yeah. But like yesterday, he really was on the floor like, and I'm like,
that's a tantrum.
Yep. Yeah. No, it wasn't. He's just going through a little mood, and then
he's
Henry
just having a moment.
Yeah, he's just having a little mood right there. And then Henry walks out. He's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Not a toddler tantrum."
Who knows?
He's just doing a little mood. I don't know.
Still a baby.
Yeah, he's
on
the
baby.
Floor. And then he's like, I think this is a tantrum. And I'm like, no, it's not. Not my baby. Nope.
Well, you said he would like throw his head back and stuff, right?
He would scorpion. Yeah, but he wouldn't like cry or fuss. And yesterday he like had a mad face and like he was sitting to the point where he literally put himself and laid himself down and was like,
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just a mood. It's just a mood.
Just a mood. And all kids tantrum differently. So who knows? Yeah. Like Poppy was a throw ahead, but like I have it in my notes of when she first had her first quote unquote tantrum was like 8 months, I think, where she would throw her head back. Yeah,
scorpion. Yeah,
the scorpion. Dang. And then that's continued. Like she would throw her head back and like onto the floor. Yeah. Up until honestly, I don't even remember when it stopped now because just one day it was just better. But for sure,
well,
like
that's good to know.
Oh my
one
God.
day it just goes away.
Yes, and I was so worried about it because I'm like, she's gonna crack her head open. Like she's done it, and she did at Disneyland one time, and it was like cement. And I literally, my friend has me on video, and I'm like trying to like catch her head and just like, you know, obviously I look crazy, but I'm like, my kid is not going to split her head open from having a tantrum. This is crazy.
Right.
And then one day I remember starting to explain to her, like when she would do it, I say, didn't that hurt? Ooh. That didn't feel good, did it?
Yeah.
And she'd be like, mommy. And I'm like, I do feel sad that you did that. I am sad that you did and that you hurt yourself.
That I can't wait for that when they can kind of understand.
Yes.
Like, this doesn't make sense, bro, because it's going to hurt and you're not going to like it. And they're like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
and I'm like, mommy will give you hugs to help you feel better, but you know that mommy didn't do that.
Yeah.
Mommy's sitting over here.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're the one.
Yeah. I actually really enjoy that too when Saint does be throwing tantrums.
Yeah.
I am so calm though. I'm chill. I let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Throw your tantrum. And when he's done, I go, do you want to give mama a hug? You want a hug?
Yep.
And he'll go, he'll give me and he'll pat my back.
Okay, so
like, "Are you
yesterday
okay?"
when this happened,
okay?
because it wasn't a tantrum,
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of just let him have his mood.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, because I haven't dealt with this mood yet.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what do I do? And Henry's just there like monitoring. Like he just wanted to see like what the baby was going to do. Because we hadn't, like he literally came out of his office like, what is this? And I'm like, it's just a mood. I don't know. And then so I let him be in his mood for maybe like 15 seconds. And he's like, "Wah," and he's like stomping his little arms. And then I just start tickling him. Like I did like one little tickle. And I felt like he was going to have a big emotion regardless. So was he going to have a big upset moment or a big
laugh.
silly moment?
Yeah.
So I just started tickling him and he was like, like, and then we went into a full on tickle fest and I'm like, dude, I think I like switched the direction.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you redirected
so
it.
that was like just on the fly. Yeah. And I'm like,
Yes.
okay, I think I'm going to try that again.
Like your instincts just kicked in. Like, okay, how do
That's a
I
good
like?
idea.
Because sometimes it's like sometimes they really are in their feelings and they need to like sit there and give you a hug and like all these things. And then sometimes they just need a distraction.
Right.
Like Poppy will still be crying, still tears in her eyes, fully sobbing, and then Drew or I will do something, and then she's like,
yeah.
She's like, I don't even know what I'm doing right now.
and we're just like, okay, distract.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like, you know, obviously us as like, this is our first time parenting.
Right.
This is our first time having these big emotions. We're all just trying to figure out how to make this work for all of us. And every kid is different, but I think the distract thing is like a universal, like, through line for all these tantrums.
Sure. I know. And then even like the 8 through 12 months, although Saint was saying words, it's like mama, dada, and down was his third word.
Down.
So he knew, like he'd stand on top of the sofa. He'd be like, mama. Well, he didn't string the words together, but he'd be like, down. And I'm like, yes, get
like
down.
He knew that's what you were going to say to him.
Yeah, he's like, down. I'm like, yes.
He's like, I said it
down.
first.
Yeah, he said it first. Yeah, so now, but like, it's so cute now that he's a little bit past that. Now I'm hearing the stringing words. I'm hearing like, I can understand what he's saying. But even then, I could understand his little words.
Yeah.
And even Zaire or other people would be like, how do you know that that's what he wanted? And I'm like,
the language.
I'd be knowing. I know his language.
secret
The
language.
secret language.
Yeah.
There's a difference between ba and be. Like there's small difference
small little.
of like, and I'm like, I know what he's saying.
Even right now that Santi's saying ba, I'm like, that's ball.
Yeah,
like,
you know what it is.
I know that's ball. And then because we got him a ball pit, so he's like ba, like the ball pit. And I'm like, okay, let's go to the ball pit.
Yeah,
like we got this. But also I feel like because like he started babbling really early on and like doing his little singing and making noises. He was never really not making noises. But the talking has been like super, like right now it's mama. Well, now it's mum. Papa,
He's British.
Ba. But then it's like a lot of Spanish words that we're teaching him. So at his 15-month checkup, I'm like, should he be saying more words? And they were like, not. Like he's kind of right on point because you're also speaking to him in Spanish at home, which we are speaking to him in Spanish probably the majority of the day because it's when my mother-in-law's there, which is all day. But even when she leaves, we continue the Spanish. Really, the only English that he's getting is when he watches Miss Rachel, which isn't every day.
Yeah.
So, like, now he's doing, like, panza. And he's not saying panza, but, like, he doesn't know the word for belly or stomach. He only knows panza.
Yeah.
But then for ball, he only knows ball. So I'm like... I've had this moment, like, are we delaying him? And, like, should we focus on one language?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think
and
so.
And Henry's like, no. Like, he's, like...
So many kids grow up like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And we grew up like that.
Yeah,
but
sure.
now I feel like because I don't know about you guys, but me, I get wrapped up in the milestones and like, are we hitting them? Like, is it on time? This and that. And I'm like, I don't want him to be late on words, which he's not yet, but I don't want him to because it's going to take him longer if he's learning multiple languages. And we're also doing the sign language, which I think is different though, because it is gestures. Like he knows the words. Yeah. He just needs to learn the gestures. I think it's the English and Spanish that's really going to not confuse him, but just prolong.
Yeah.
Maybe,
but I don't know.
Well,
we're not experts, but.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, definitely not. But Saint knows this is more. Yeah. But he also knows more and he knows más. Yeah. So he knows all of them mean the same thing.
Yeah. So like Miss Rachel teaches more.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I say más with the sign language.
Yep.
And so when I say más, I do the more sign language because that's what it is in Spanish. But then she only says more. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want. That's also why I don't do Miss Rachel every day.
Right.
Or like even every other day. I just do it like a little bit because I'm like, I think I'm just going to focus on like what we're saying in the house as much as we can, which is sign language, sign, más.
Yeah.
You know? And
I think Poppy started with the más and she still will say más every so often now. But when she was smaller, it was just más. And it was this always, obviously, because of Miss Rachel. But I feel like now she'll say, Baby Poppy used to say más, and she'll show us. Baby Poppy. She loves looking at her old videos of when she was talking and like showing us how she would say certain things. But I think it's fine. Like I think the kids put it together more than we give them credit for sometimes. Like my nephew, they speak Spanish to him probably honestly 95% of the time, if not like 98% of the time. Huh. And he does, like, even with us where he knows that we're speaking English, like me and Poppy, he'll speak to us in Spanish, obviously, like, you guys know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
You know? But he every once in a while will know, like this past time we saw him, he just turned 2, and he was saying something in Spanish. It was like a construction, like, truck. Like excavator, right? Yeah. Or so I forget what it was.
Which I didn't even know it was called that, but he has the flashcards, so it has it in English and Spanish. I'm like, words. Oh, excavator.
Yeah, who knew?
Yeah.
And so he then said it in English. Like he was looking at us like, okay, I don't think they're not getting what I need them to get right now. Right. And so now I'm going to say it in English. Right. But he speaks English so little. Like 98% of the time he is speaking to us in Spanish. But they watch some stuff and I feel like it's Miss Rachel or like Coco. But a lot of the Disney stuff they do show him all in Spanish. But I do think he got it, you know. It's like they eventually are like, "Oh, okay, this is what I have to do to get what I want." Right. I think that's the biggest their like animal instinct. Like if I need to get something that I want, this is what I'll do. And I think even older kids do that, like toddlers and stuff. Like I grew up with my tia watching us from Mexico, and I didn't speak Spanish really, and she started watching us when I was like 3. Then all of a sudden I'm speaking Spanish because she was who would feed us and she would watch us all day. And so then that became the normal. Like, this is how I get food. This is how I get to go outside. This is, you know? Yeah. And so I feel like kids just adapt. And however you're doing it is totally great.
Yeah. And I don't know if they associate different languages. Yeah. It just is. Like, I remember someone asked me, when you think of something, do you think of it in English or do you think of it in Spanish? I'm not fluent in Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm close to it, but I'm not fluent to it. But when I want to speak to my mom, for example, it's like my mom and I speak in both languages, English and Spanish, but I don't hear a language. It's a knowing. Yeah. It's a sense of knowing for me. So I think that may be how babies also relate. I
always wondered that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't hear a language. I just know what she's saying. I don't think of it as like, oh, she's speaking to me in English or speaking to me in Spanish. And I see it in real time with Saint, for example, with more. He knows more, más, and the sign language. He knows all that. He also knows it with nose. He knows this is nose and nariz. Uh-huh. He knows this is mouth and boca. So if I say, where's your boca? He'll do this. Where's your mouth? He'll do this. Like he still knows. Yeah. So it's just a knowing, I think, not a language. I don't think they don't know that yet.
And even with like shortened words, I think that also works. Like I feel like I would abbreviate a lot with like Poppy. So like with octopus, I'd be like, this is octopus, but we say octi, you know. And then like in Spanish, pulpo, you know, like we go through all the different versions. So I think like they eventually learn like there's multiple names. For just like one thing, just like for mommy or daddy, you know, there's multiple names for one thing, and that's okay. I think she's now like just recently, this happened a couple weeks ago, where she's now asking how to say things in Spanish. Like especially when like her grandparents come over. She's like, how does it go in Spanish? You know, and so now she's more aware, I think, that there's two languages.
That sounds like me.
Versus
With Henry's mom, I'm like, ¿Cómo se dice? This word. Yeah.
Sometimes I ask Drew, he's like, I don't know actually.
No, the other day I had a word and she didn't know. She's like, yo no sé. And then I asked Henry.
Is it like a random animal or something?
No, I forgot what it was. I think it was a gesture.
Oh.
It was a gesture, and she's like, I don't know.
Because with these kids, you're learning all these, like, dragon, like, I think it was dragonfly. I was asking Drew.
I know how to say that.
How do you say it?
Because the cards taught me, and I used it. I was so happy because I loved libellula.
Okay. My nephew was saying it the other day, and I was like, what is happening? What is he saying?
Libellula.
What is he talking
about? Oh my gosh, I'm so happy I got to use it again. I got to use it in Colombia.
That is a crazy word.
I got to use it in Colombia, and I was so happy because
oh my God.
In the cards, she would say libellula, and I just liked saying that word. So I'm like, libellula.
Vocal
all
stem.
the time. Yeah. So then we're in Colombia, and I forgot, one of Henry's relatives was saying, or Henry's mom was trying to explain something to them, and she was like, I don't know how to say this. And I saw it was a dragonfly. And so I'm like, libellula. And she's like, libellula. And I'm like, Henry, I knew it.
Colombian points.
Yeah, I was so happy, and I used it again.
Wow. Poppy asked Drew the other day how you say hot dog in Spanish.
Pero caliente.
Hot dog.
Yes, that is what he should have. He literally said hot dog. And Poppy starts laughing hysterically. She goes, no, Daddy, in Spanish. And he's like, that is what we say.
Hot dog.
That's also one of the cards on this reader. Like this reader.
Did you guys
it says pero caliente. Yeah. What was that?
Yes, then his parents came over and had to clarify.
It is on TikTok Shop, but I didn't want to wait that long because TikTok Shop takes like longer. So I found it on Amazon and it sent it like in 2 days.
Yes. Oh my God, that is so.
Yeah, those cards are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are really. Poppy had it and now it's like glitching. Now it's like saying different words. So I'm like, I should probably. They're only like what, $15? I should get a new one.
You gotta get a new one. Amazing.
Shout out to TikTok Shop for giving us stuff that we need.
Literally influencing us.
Yes. Influencing us.
Got me.
Right.
Wait, also thinking about this little time frame of the 8 to 12 months, this was also the first time Poppy got sick. Which I feel like I didn't think about the fact that you can't really give babies who are under a year, even under 2 years, like very much medicine or like any of that stuff. And it was... I don't know, like, again, before you have the baby, you're like, who knows what'll happen. Yeah. And I feel like she got sick and I was like Googling all these things and basically it was just like, okay, keep giving her your breast milk. Yeah. And like you
it's the best thing for them.
Yeah, like let them breathe in some vapors or things like that. But there was no like, okay, give him this and this will actually help.
What did she get sick with? Like a cold?
It was a cold and it was right before we flew for the first time. So I was super worried because I'm like, we might have to cancel everything, obviously. And then I was worried about her being on the plane with congestion because I feel like that's the hardest part, obviously, right? Like being congested and they can't spit it out. They can't blow it out.
Can't hawk loogies.
Oh my God, it's the worst. I'm like, when
I
they
also can't hawk loogies. I just swallow them.
Oh my God, that just made me nauseous. Oh God.
It's so random.
I don't know how to spit them.
Why don't you just spit it out?
I don't know how because
like
it doesn't
slowly?
come in my mouth.
Oh, okay.
Pause. Maybe it does. I don't know.
Oh my God.
So
anyway, congestion with babies is very difficult because they don't know how to do anything, basically. Yeah. And when the child can finally blow their own damn nose, it is a game changer.
We're not even there yet. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for that.
Changer.
Yeah.
Poppy now thinks though that every time she sneezes, she has to blow her nose. So that's a whole thing. Every time she sneezes.
But that's probably helping. Like
that's cute.
Like she's tying them together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know, we're at the nose suction. Everybody knows about the nose suction and all the different ways you can do that.
I love the Frida nose sucker.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the electrical one, right?
I have the electrical and the manual one.
The manual
so
one
here's the thing. I have both. The manual one I loved in the beginning when he was like baby. But now that he's older, like his mocos are more like sticky. Where the electrical one can't really get, it could get like the hard ones, but like he has sticky ones. So like the sticky ones is good for like the actual manual sucker. Yeah.
Which is honestly, I hate doing it. And I feel like the only way that we would get Poppy to do it is like I wrap her like a burrito. So I would say like, burrito baby, it's burrito baby time. Wrap her like a burrito and just like really kind of get on top of her and like put the thing in and then still be holding down her arms while I'm like trying to suck it, and then Drew would be like holding her head.
Wow.
Because that was the absolute only way she would let us do it. But I think like, yeah, not being able to really help her as much as you think that you're going to be able to help a sick baby, because it's just like naturally getting through it and letting their body like fight it off is a special kind of anxiety. Like as a first time mom, you
feel helpless.
Oh my God, you feel so helpless. It's so hard. And then obviously like you're like, okay, when are they in the we need to go to the doctors.
Right.
Is it okay to not go to the doctors? Like where are we at? And I think all of those questions are ones that you have to kind of answer on your own, unless you have somebody in your family who's in the medical field, which is obviously amazing if you do.
I was messaging our doctor like,
oh, that's nice.
Like in the morning and then in the evening as well, because like he would change, like the symptoms would change or like get better or get worse, and I was just giving updates like the whole time. And essentially they're like, he's sick and you have to leave me alone and stop. But I'm like, I don't care. Like I have this feature where I can talk to you, and I'm going to talk to you.
And
like,
I'm going to use it.
It's my first time being sick, and I'm like terrified. The baby being sick. So he got sick at like right before his first birthday though.
Oh my God.
So that was a whole ordeal, which both of you know, because I had to cancel his birthday. I rescheduled it because he literally was sick on his birthday.
Poor guy.
But we're going to get more into that because our next episode is talking about all of the first birthdays.
First birthday.
And speaking of birthdays, it is our quinceañera episode. Which really quick, we already went over. None of us had quinceañeras.
No.
So this is our first quinceañera. Are we wearing big dresses? I don't know.
Stay tuned.
We don't even know. We don't know what's happening.
We'll be doing fit checks. Okay, we'll be doing fit checks.
Yeah, but I'm excited. We're going to get into all of the fun first birthday stuff and celebrate our quinceañera. And that's all next episode.
Yay!
Thanks so much for hanging out with us on Nightclubs to Night Feeds. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we are, of course, always continuing the conversation on our social media. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Nightclubs to Night Feeds. That's at Nightclubs, the number 2, and then Night Feeds. Make sure to follow us and let us know if there's a topic you want us to cover. Can't wait to chat next time.